Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are now continuing with the questions on bills of exchange, and now I will be doing exercise 2.2. And the intention is to complete all these questions from A up to number F, all the exercise of the bills of exchange. And the minute one can master these bills of exchange exercise questions that are under 2.2, definitely you will be think mastering any question that can come out of bills of exchange. Now let us read the first one. It says a bill for 3,490, and we know that this is the face value of the bill, not the future value. This bill was drawn on the 15th of March at 60 DD. That means the due date of this bill is 60 days after the 15th of March. Then, and it was discounted on 20th of April in the same year at 6.5%. That is a percentage there that I'm just seeing now, 6.5% per annum. What did the holder receive? So now what are we looking for? We are looking for the cash value of this bill. Now first thing that we need to do is to know the due date, because we know that the bill was drawn on the 15th of March. Then we need to calculate 60 days from the 15th of March so that we know the due date. So that when we know the due date, we can calculate from the 20th of March up to the due date in order for us to get to the unexpired period, which is the period between the discount date and the due date of the bill. Now, with that, let us help each other with some note for us to be able to explain all of this. Now, that means we have this bill that was drawn from the 15th of March, and this bill is due 60 days after the 15th of March. So we know that here it is a total of 60 days, and the drawn date of this bill was the 15th of March. It was drawn on the 15th of March, and we are looking for the due date somewhere along the way, which is April 20th. On the 20th of April, this bill was discounted, meaning this holder of the bill went to the bank and said, "Bank, I need money now on the 20th of April. I can't wait until the 60th day," which we don't know what date is that, but we're about to calculate it now. We know that March has 31 days, so now we are calculating the days for the month of March. We know that March has 31 days. So what do? We say 31 minus 15. We are starting from number 16. So now there are 16 days in the month of March. Then April, we know that April has 30 days. Then we go to May. We don't need the full May. Remember, our target is to calculate 60 days from the 15th of March. So now we definitely don't need the full 30 days in May, because it will be 30 plus 30, already 60 plus 16, then that will be above 60. So that means we need to say first 16 plus 30 days. Then we get to know that it is 46 days from the 16th of March up to the month of April. So now May, in other words, we need to say 46 minus 60. That means it will be 14. So we only need 14 days in the month of May. Remember, these are days, or the number of days. These are the number of days in these given months. So now if we say 16 days in March, 30 days in April, and 14 days in May, we get to see that the due date of this bill was the 14th of May. So this bill was due 14th of May. So we're very clear about the due date. Let me just change the color there so that we know that this is a different date 14, or this is the due date, it is the 14th of the month of May. So this bill was due on the 14th of May, and we are very aware that this bill was discounted on the 20th of April. Now we need to know the number of days from 20th of April up until the due date of this bill. Remember, that will be represented by T, which we call that unexpired period. And we know that unexpired period is the period between the discount date of the bill and the due date of the bill. Hence, it was important for us to know the due date so that we can be able to calculate T, which is our unexpired period. Now, let us calculate our T, because we definitely need to calculate that T. Now we say from the month of April, we're starting on the 21st. Therefore, now we'll say 30 days in April minus 20, which is the date the bill was discounted. So now that means in the month of April, we only have 10 days. In the month of May, obviously, we take all the 14 days because the due date of the bill was the 14th of May. So now that means there are 24 days this bill was discounted, was discounted before the bill was due, was discounted. So there are 24 days the bill was discounted before its due date. So now we are very clear that our T is 24 days. So now if we do have our T, that means we are, remember, required to calculate the face value of the bill. And we know that the face value of the bill, the cash value of the bill is what we are required. We know that the cash value of the bill is equal to the face value of the bill minus the banker's discount. So now first thing that we need to calculate, it is the banker's discount. Now we know that there is a formula. Remember, we already do have the face value of the bill. I don't know why I'm saying CS. We already know the face value of the bill. It is the amount that is provided to us, that the face value of the bill is 3,490. And we are looking for the cash value of the bill. Before that, we are looking for the banker's discount, which is the interest that will be charged by the bank. Remember, the bank will say, okay, the person who is bringing the bill, you are giving us the paper, which is not money, and we are going to charge you interest from the 20th up until the 14th of May. So that means the bank is going to charge interest for 21 days and give this person the cash value of the bill, excluding the interest that the bank would have charged. So now let us go there and we calculate the banker's discount. Banker's discount, we know that it says face value times by the rate and times by T, which is our unexpired period. And we know that our face value, it is 3,490. Just to verify that, 3,490 the face value of the bill. The interest is 6.5%. We multiply by 0.065. We multiply this by 24 over 365. We mostly assume 365 days in a year if it's not specified, unless stated otherwise. So now we are calculating the banker's discount. First of all, the interest that will be charged by the bank for the number of days between the discount date up to the due date of the bill. 3,490 times by 0.065 times by 24 over 365. So now, in other words, the bank will say the bank will charge interest of 14 rand 91 cents, which is 92 cents, rounding off accurately, 92 cents. So the bank will say, I am going to charge you interest for the number of days, hence we multiply by 24 over 365 in a year. I'm going to charge you interest for the number of days at the rate, which is interest of 0.065% from the face value of the bill, so that I don't give you the full cash. That means the cash value of the bill will then be the difference between 3,490 minus the interest that the bank will charge 4.92, so that the cash value of the bill will be equal to the difference between the two. Minus 3,490 becomes the cash value of the bill, which is 3,475 rand 8 cents. So in simple terms, this person will receive cash of 3,475 rand 8 cents. Why so? Because the bank will charge interest. Why the bank is charging the interest? Because the bank will receive a bill at this date and keep this bill, which is a promissory note or a paper, keep it in its disposal up until the 14th of May. So now that is why there will be an interest charged by the bank to this person who is discounting the bill, meaning the person want cash at this date, is not willing to wait up until the 14th of May, although they agree that the bill will be due on the 14th of May. So now with that, guys, we have responded to this question. Then now let us go to the second part of the question or the next question. Then the next question is question number B. I will just stop when I get maybe to 30 to 45 minutes, then stop and continue with other questions in the next recording. Then number B says that a merchant was in possession of a bill for 3,500 which was due 3 months later. So this person had a bill and the bill was due 3 months later. Now if it was due 3 months later, meaning our T is equal to 3 months. So 3 months in this case is unexpired period. Let me just relate this to what we have done. This bill was due 24 days later. If we want to say it similar to the current question, this bill was due 24 days later from the 20th of April. So now this is the same case where now this person is having a bill of 3,500, which is the face value of the bill, and it is due 3 months later. So the 3 months later is the unexpired period. Now it says as he had to pay an account of 6,400. So now this person is owing somebody else, or is owing an account, or is owing somebody else, to be simple. So because he's owing somebody else, it says he discounted this bill. Which bill? This is the bill. This is not the bill. It is what he owes to somebody else, or what he owes to a company. So now he discounted this bill, meaning he discounted this bill which is due in 3 months. And the discount rate from the bank is 8% per annum. 8% per annum. And for the remainder, let us leave that end because it's another statement. Now it says, let me just explain first. And for the remainder of his debt, he accepts a bill due 2 months later to cover the debt, plus the interest at 8% per annum. What was the face value of the new bill? And this question is very, very, very popular question, but I've not recorded something yet with the example that relates to this. And it's very important to master both of these types of questions. I'm not sure which example is it, but there's another example that is very similar to this question. Now, very important to highlight the fact that this person is owing money. We need to say how much is he owing. We need to be very clear on that. The amount that he owes is 6,400. This is the amount that he owes, because it is clearly stated that as he had to pay an account, meaning he's supposed to pay what he owes, but he doesn't have money, but he only have a paper with the value of 3.5, and this paper is called a bill, and this paper called a bill is due 3 months, and he wants money now in order to pay the account now. So he went to the bank and said, bank, can you please give me the cash value of this bill? Then obviously the bank will say, I won't give you the full 3.5. No. I will have to deduct interest, because I, as the bank, I'll have to wait for 3 months in order for me to receive the money which is inside this bill. So now let us then calculate what we call the banker's discount, so that we know how much was the cash value, meaning cash that was received out of the bill that was worth 3.5, so that the amount that he received from the bank, he will use it to pay the account that he is owing. So now we are looking for first the banker's discount in order for us to get to the cash value. Remember, the cash value of the bill is equal to face value of the bill minus banker's discount. That is why now we need to calculate the banker's discount. Face value, we know that it is 3,500 rands. Then we say banker's discount is equal to 3,500, which is face value, times by the rate 0.08, which is our rate, times by T, of which our T is 3 months over 12. Remember, when your unexpired period is in months, we divide by the number of months in a year. But when your unexpired period is in days, you divide by the number of days in a year. That is why previously we said 24 over 365, because these are the days we needed to divide by the number of days in a year. But when these are the months, we need to divide by the number of months in a year. So please bear in mind with that. It's very important to master also those simple dynamics. So now our banker's discount will be calculated by saying 3,500 times by 0.08 times by 3 divided by 12. And we can see that the interest that will be charged by the bank is 70 rand, meaning the merchant or this merchant will receive this amount called cash value. The merchant will receive only 3,500 after 70 rand has been deducted or withheld by the bank. So now the merchant will receive only the difference between 70 rand and 3,500, meaning the merchant will receive 3,430. Now, why is he receiving this money now? It is because he needs to pay the amount of 6.4 that he is owing currently. So now he is withdrawing the money from the bill in order for him to make the payment. That is why we have to say now less bill cashed. Less bill cashed. That means he cashed the bill in order to pay the amount that he owed, 3,430. Let us just verify that. Yes, 3,430. After he discounted this bill, he still owes some cash extra, plus 6,400, and we discover that this gentleman still owes 2,970. So now the question is, how much or how is he going to pay the remainder of this amount? And they clearly told us how he is going to. Now let us first acknowledge that this is the balance that is still owing. This is the balance that is still owing. Now what is the question? The question says for the remainder of the bill. What did he do for the remainder of the bill? And says, and for the remainder of his debt, sorry, not a bill, for the remainder of his debt. How much is his debt? His debt currently is 2,970. How did he get the amount to pay the 2,970? It says for the remainder of his debt, he accepts a bill that is due 2 months later. That is due 2 months later, in order for him to cover the debt, meaning in order for him to cover the 2,970 that is still outstanding. Then we know that T, or in fact 2 months in this case, is T, which is our unexpired period for the new bill, because he accepts a new bill with the intention to discount the bill in order for him to immediately go to the bank and discount it and get the cash value. But they say plus 8% interest per annum. And what was the face value of the bill? for this new bill, to be honest. So now in other words, we are saying in this 2,970 that he is owing, we need to say plus interest. Interest at what rate? Interest at 8%, and therefore for the period of 2 months. So now we need to calculate interest, then after to determine the face value of this new bill. So now we need to calculate interest, which is banker's discount. But we know that this banker's discount is the interest that will be charged by the bank. Hence they said plus interest. It is equal to the face value we know times by the rate, which is interest, I in simple terms when it comes to simple interest, times by our T, which is our unexpired period. We know that our face value of the bill or the amount that he owes, it is 2,970 times by 0.08 times by 2 out of the 12th month. So this will give us the interest times by 0.08 times by 2 divided by 12 to find out that this person, let us verify if the interest is still at 8%. Yes, interest is still sitting at 8%. So now meaning this person will be paying, or the bank will charge interest at 39 rand 60 cents. 39 rand 60 cents. So now if this is the interest that will be charged by the bank, then we need to add the interest to the amount that is owing in order for us to get to the face value of the bill. That means the face value of this new bill will be 2,970 plus 39 rand 60 cents. So now the face value of this bill will be plus 2,970. This will give us 3,009 rand 60 cents. What does this mean? It means this person must accept a bill of 3,090 rand 60 cents so that he can discount it now. Remember, this bill is due in 2 months, so that he can go to the bank immediately and get the cash value of the bill. Now when he brings the bill with this face value to the bank will say, I am going to charge you interest of 39 rand 60 cents. So now that means the cash that this person is going to receive in order to settle his debt, it will be the face value of the bill of 3,009 rand that he is going to accept, 60 cents, minus the interest, which we were told that the interest will be at 8% for the next 2 months. So the bank will deduct the interest of 39 rand 60 cents in order for this person to get the cash value that is equal to the debt that is owing, so that he can settle his debt immediately. Now, with that, guys, that is very important to master. This question is very popular, where the person owes a certain amount, then he discounts the bill and there's still an outstanding balance, and for the new debt he must accept a bill plus interest. And it's always the case that the amount that he owes, you just multiply it by the interest and times by the unexpired period to get to the interest, which is the banker's discount. That will be the interest charged by the bank. Then after we add it back to the amount that he owes, because he needs to accept a bill that is more than the amount that he owes. Why must he accept a bill more than the amount that he owes? Is because the interest will be deducted by the bank, so that the cash that is going to receive will be equal to 2,970, which is exactly the same amount that he owes. So now that was number B. Then now I just want to look at the next question. If how far can we go with the next question, which is question number C. Then after question number C, I will stop. Then I will split this video. Then there will be the other 3 questions, which is D, E, and F separately, the next 3. Now we go to number C. Number C says that a bill for 2,000 190 accepted. This question is very lovely, the one that I'm beginning with. It says a bill for 2,190 accepted at 90 DD. Very important to know that the terms of acceptance of this bill is 90 DD. Meaning the bill is due 90 days after the date it was accepted. Remember that we don't know when was the bill accepted, but we know somewhere the bill was accepted, and we know that somewhere it will be a total of 90 days. From the date of acceptance up until the due date, it is 90 days. That is what we know so far. Then it says this bill is discounted on the 18th of July. So we are very clear that the bill was discounted on the 18th of July. So that is what we know so far. Now, if the bill is discounted on the 18th of July, I don't know why this has cleared itself. If the bill is accepted on the 18th of July, it means somewhere before the 90 days expired, the bill was discounted. This is the 18th of July where the bill was discounted. The bill was discounted on the 18th of July. We don't know, I don't know why this thing is clearing every time I save. We don't know the date the bill was accepted, but we know that somewhere on the 18th of July the bill was discounted. And we know that by the end of this bill period, 90 days would have expired. But we know that somewhere between the discount date up until the due date is what we call T. And our T is our unexpired period. Now, if we can get to know the unexpired period, which is our T, then obviously we will know the the days between acceptance and the discount date, meaning we can end up knowing the date this bill was accepted. But so far we don't know what will they require us to calculate. We know that the bill was discounted on the 18th of July. For how much? For an amount of 2,170.80 cents at the bank. So that means we definitely know what is called the banker's discount. Because banker's discount, it is equal to the face value 2,190 minus 2,170.80. That means we have a banker's discount of 19 rand 20 cents. We know the banker's discount. Remember again, the banker's discount still does have a formula that says face value times by the rate times by T. But when we are given the face value of the bill and you are given the cash value of the bill, then the difference between the two, it is still banker's discount. So now hence I'm taking the very easy shortcut now, because we have the face value of the bill and we have the cash value of the bill. The amount that was received when the bill was discounted was 2,170 rand 80 cents. Then now we continue on that same note. It says let us calculate the due date of the bill. Remember, due date is unexpired period, because the due date will be able to calculate it by calculating our T, which is our unexpired period. And how can we be able to calculate from the 18th up until the 90th day, which we don't know? Remember, from 18 up to the 90th day is not 90 days. It might be 30 days, because the bill was accepted somewhere here on the date we don't know. We only know in somewhere along the way from the 18th of July when the bill was discounted. So now this in simple terms means we need to calculate our T using our formulas, calculating our unexpired period. Now let us go ahead and we calculate our unexpired period. Remember, unexpired period is our T, and T is equal to BD divided by the face value times by the rate. And we need not to forget to multiply this by 365 because we are looking for the number of days. Now, our banker's discount, it is 19.20. Divide this by 2000. Let us check how much is that. 2190 is the face value of the bill. 2190 times this by the rate of discount. How much is the rate? They said calculate the due date and the date of acceptance if the discount is calculated at the rate of 8% per annum. So now we are given the rate of 8% per annum. We multiply this by 0.08 and everything is multiplied by 365. So now this will give us our unexpired period. We have 19.20 divide this open brackets 2190 times by 0.08 close brackets equals times by 365. We get 39.99, which is 40 days. So this is 40 days, 39.99. Other calculators, they get exactly 40 days without having to round off. Let me just verify that with my calculator. Setup 02, then 19 rand 20 cents divide by 2190 times by 0.08 equals times by 365. Yes, with my calculator I get exact 90. It does not give me 39.99. It's just a small difference in calculator rounding offs. So this is exactly 40 days. Now, what does this 40 days mean? It means 40 days is here. T is equal to 40 days. What does this simply means? It means 40 days. I don't know why this thing just erases when I save. It means the period between the discount date, which is 18th of July, up until the due date is 40 days. So we need to calculate 40 days from the 18th of July. That should be our focus. From the 18th of July, we need to calculate 40 days in full. Then after we see how much do we get. Now let me do the calculations of this 40 days. We know that the bill was discounted on the 18th of July. I want to highlight that it was discounted on the 18th of July. So we're calculating 14 days from that date. July has how many days? We need to know that July has 31 days. 31 minus 18, it gives us 13 days. So in the month of July, we only need 13 days. Then we go to the month of August. August needs 31 days in August. August has 31 days. Guys, you just need to master the number of days in a month. When is the specific month and number of days ending. That one I cannot teach you that much. Then now if we say 31 plus 13 is already above 40. So we don't need the entire 31 days in August, though August ends on the 31st. So now that means in the month of August, we don't need the entire 31 days. Why? Because we only need 14 days. 40 days. 13 minus 40. That means in the next month, we only need 27 days. So August, we only need 27 days. So this is number of days in a month. So if we say 27 plus 13, this is going to give us 40 days. That means this bill was due on the 27th of the month of August. So guys, we are very clear with that. We have mastered that. We only need the 27 as the due date of the bill, meaning this bill was due on the 27th of August, or the due date of the bill is 27th of August. So now we have responded to the first part of the question. What are the due dates of the bill? It is 27 of August. And we know that the 27th of August is here, and it is 40 days after the bill was discounted. So now if it's 40 days, remember from the date the bill was accepted up until the due date is a total of 90 days. We need not to forget that. So if from here up until here it is 40 days, it means from 0 up until, or from acceptance or the date the bill was drawn up until the discount date, it is 50 days. So that when you say 50 plus 40 days, we get to a total of 90 days, which is the period in which this bill was accepted, 90 DD. So that means we need to go back and calculate 50 days in order for us to get to the date in which this bill was accepted. So now we are moving from the 18th, including the 18th, going backwards to calculate 50 days. And this is very awkward, to be honest. And it might sound easily, but it's not so easily. Now let me just calculate in here, or calculate these days from here. So for the month of July, we include all the 18 days. Then we go back, remember, we're going back to June. June, in this case, we know that June has 30 days. Do we need all the 30 days? Yes. 30 plus 18, it will be 48. If I'm not mistaken, verify that. 30 plus 18, it will be 48. That means in the previous month, we need only 2 months. Now, I want to emphasize this. We need only 2 months. Now, if we say we need only 2 months in the previous month, what does that mean? Does that mean now we need, remember we are now in the month of May. Before June, we have the month of May, and May is ending on the 31st. I want to highlight the fact that May end on the 31st, meaning May has 31 days. So now we are only looking for 2 days in the month of May. Only 2 days. Now, if it's 2 days, remember, it must be 2 days at the end, not in the beginning, because if we say May is the 2nd, that means 2 days up until the end of May, it will be 2 minus 31. Then we'll say 2 minus 31. That means we take 29 days. So we don't want the 2nd, but we need 2 days, but we don't need the 2nd. Remember, the 2nd is the date. We need only the number of days. We are moving from June 30th, then we go to, in fact, we are from June 1st now. We're going back to 31st of May, then we go to the 30th of May, then we go to the 29th of May. So now that means this bill must have been due on the 29th of May, meaning it will be May 29. Now, how is 29 2 days? That is the question. Remember, if the bill is drawn on the 29th of May, what does this mean? It means we need to calculate now from the 29th of May. Just want to show you this. Now we are calculating if this is really 2 days. Remember, we are calculating the days now from the 29th of May. We want to test if is it really 2 days, moving from the 29th of May up until the 18th of July. how are we going to do that? We are going to say, okay, for the month of May, May is ending on what date? May is ending on the 31st. Then you say 31 minus 29. Calculating the number of days, remember? Then we are going to say 31st minus 29, because we don't include this day the bill was drawn. It will be 31 minus 29. You see, that is exactly 2 days. So now we have 2 days in the month of May and 30 days in June. Then you say plus 30 days in June plus 18 days in July. You can see that is exactly 50 days. So guys, please be mindful of these 2 days. When you work backwards, we need to take 1 day extra, plus we cannot take the 30th and say it's 30 and 31st, because we don't include the date the bill was drawn when we're calculating the unexpired period. We count from the following day. But when we go backwards, we include the date the bill was, in this case, discounted. Guys, I hope I'm making sense on this. I know it's not so easily to grasp this. So now it means the date the bill was accepted was the 29th of May. So now we would have responded to both questions. The bill was accepted on the 29th of May. And it was due on the 27th of August. So that's what they required us to do in this question. With that, guys, 41 minutes. Let me stop. Then after I record the next 3 questions, which is question number D, question number E, and question number F. Very short questions, also good to master in terms of the preparation for the next upcoming exam on bills of exchange. Thank you, guys.